The 2022 coaster season is in full swing, and if you're still planning on visiting a few parks here in America, then this video is going to be a real treat, because here are my recommendations for the theme parks here in North America that you need to visit in 2022. Magic Kingdom. Now obviously this is based off of when Tron opens, but the good news is it looks like 2022 is going to be that year. This coaster, even though it's a clone I believe, is going to really put Magic Kingdom on the map. Not only will you be able to ride this new Vekoma motorbike coaster, this ride is going to bring the most thrilling attraction to ever come to Magic Kingdom. And one really cool thing about this new coaster is that during the daytime, it's going to be a fun ride and obviously offer a lot of thrills and great visuals. But as soon as that Florida sun goes down and the park gets dark, this night ride is going to be epic. And pair Tron right next to Space Mountain, that's a great little 1-2 punch that Tomorrowland now offers. And most of you know, I'm really not a huge Disney fan, but I really am excited for this coaster, and I think it's a great and bold move that Disney's actually adding a new thrilling coaster to Magic Kingdom. Now, a few factors went into play when coming up with the parks on this list. Obviously, we didn't see the normal amount of new coasters opening in 2022 as we are used to seeing pre-pandemic. Also, there are a few parks on this list that reopened a fan favorite coaster and or celebrating a special milestone. With all of this said, you probably know by now just how passionate I am about this industry, and this year, more than ever, the parks need us to visit them as much as we can to support them. So the truth is, I encourage you to visit as many parks as you can and get ready, because 2023 and 2024 are going to be huge investment years for a lot of parks, and I honestly cannot wait. Islands of Adventure or Velocicoaster. Now this park is deemed the world's greatest theme park, and for obvious reasons, it's kinda hard to deny that. Especially when you have Spider-Man, Hagrid's, Velocicoaster, and you can't forget about Jurassic Park, the Incredible Hulk, and a lot of other great attractions that Islands of Adventure offers. But there's one coaster that stands out above the others, and that is Velocicoaster. Now luckily for me, I have been able to ride this coaster around 10 different times, and I must say, this coaster, above all the other ones that I've ridden before, really doesn't even feel like a coaster, but more like an experience. Because the way everything is themed and placed together really is a truly groundbreaking experience that I really hope you're able to make a visit to Islands of Adventure this year at some point. Not only is Velocicoaster in my top 3, there's a pretty good chance that anyone that you've talked to who has ridden Velocicoaster before, I can almost bet you it's in their top 3. That is how good Velocicoaster is. This coaster really solidifies Intamin as being my #1 manufacturer when it comes to coasters. And in my opinion, Velocicoaster restraints on those new Intamin trains are by far the most comfortable restraints and trains out there. Now, if we can only get RMC to fix their restraints. Heading to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for Kennywood. And the reason why Kennywood's on this list is not only because of the coasters, it's also for the Potato Patch, which offers the best French fries at any theme park or amusement park out there. So when you visit Kennywood, be sure to ride Jackrabbit, Skyrocket, Thunderbolt, the Racer, and of course, Phantom's Revenge and the Steel Curtain. But you have to, and I mean you absolutely have to, check out these French fries. Not only that, but Kennywood offers some very unique attractions that you're not going to find at other parks around. So that alone makes Kennywood a must-visit park in my book for you. And after seeing the new paint on Phantom's Revenge over the last 6 months, while I really like it, to me, nothing's going to ever top that bright green track with black supports. But again, that's my opinion, but maybe they should have painted the supports like a dark silver to make the purple really pop out even more. Either way, I'm just glad this coaster is still as good as it was when it first opened. And of course, Steel Curtain is in operation as of now. So that's great because this coaster really is a great ride. And after a half dozen rides on it, I really kept on bouncing back and forth between this or Phantom's Revenge as my top coaster at Kennywood. Epcot. For Guardians of the Galaxy, not only is Epcot a world-class theme park, which has been open since the 70s, this park is about to open its first ever roller coaster. And the great thing is, for coaster enthusiasts, Guardians of the Galaxy is the world's longest indoor roller coaster. This ride really gives Epcot a much needed high capacity attraction. So now, you pair this with Test Track and Soarin', and you have arguably the 3 best rides in the entire Walt Disney World Resort, all within the future world of Epcot. But what I like most about this ride is the fact that it's unlike any other coaster or ride out there. King's Dominion for Jungle Expedition. Remember a few years ago when people really complained that King's Dominion didn't see any love from Cedar Fair, especially around the time that Volcano was removed? And as much as it pains me to think about that moment, I must say I really like what Cedar Fair is doing to King's Dominion, especially for the 2022 season. And I honestly think it's all in preparation for what's to come, a bigger, better attraction, maybe in 2024 or 2025. And if you want to see my thoughts on that, as far as a volcano replacement, I did a video about this a few months ago, so I'll put the link in the video's description. Now it's time to talk about Jungle Expedition. This area looks phenomenal. You have to talk about Tumbili, the park's new SNS free spin. And while yes, it is another free spin, from my friends who have rode it have all said it's definitely better than the ones you're going to find at the Six Flags parks. So with that, I think this whole area as a whole is definitely worth checking out. Now leaving King's Dominion and heading north on 95, all the way until you get to Six Flags Great Adventure. And in 2022, not only are you still able to ride, of course, the new Jersey Devil, which opened in 2021, but El Toro is officially open after being down for most of the year last year. And all I have to say is, after visiting this park back in April, I must say this is now one of my top 3 favorite Six Flags parks. Not only that, but the park looked beautiful. New paint everywhere, the employees were very friendly and efficient, and let me tell you, the single rider lines are legit. They really help speed up the lines. And you can't visit Great Adventure and not ride El Toro when it's open. And I was able to get one ride on it, and you know I had to get in the back seat. And Intamin and the team at Great Adventure did a phenomenal job on restoring this coaster back to its glory. El Toro is just as fast, smooth, and enjoyable as it once was. And that's a great thing for anyone who has ever been on it or wants to take a ride on this classic Intamin prefab wooden coaster. Now enough about El Toro, because there's other coasters in the park, including Kingda Ka, which I rode the second seat to the front and had arguably the smoothest ride I've ever had on this coaster. And I've been riding it since it first opened in 2005. Now I lumped all the Seaworld and Busch Gardens parks for this position, only because there's so many that open up a new coaster this year that I wanted to include other parks on this list. Not only do you have Pantheon that just opened at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which looks like a great coaster and finally gives that park a standout top 10 worthy ride. Then down at Seaworld, you have the underrated Icebreaker, which really is a great coaster, even with the height requirement mishap that happened earlier in the year. This ride really is fun, and you get a lot of great airtime. And in my opinion, it's a perfect fit for SeaWorld. I just wish it had a 48-inch height requirement to make it the perfect in-between coaster for SeaWorld Orlando. SeaWorld San Diego opened their B&M dive coaster Emperor as well. And this coaster, just like Cliffhanger at Fiesta, looks like it packs a great little punch. And you can't bring up new SeaWorld and Busch Gardens coasters without talking about the one and only Iron Gwazi. Even with the delays, Iron Gwazi really is a world-class coaster. And just like Velocicoaster, it's bound to be in everyone's top 5 or top 3 depending on the person. And for me, I rode Iron Gwazi 3 different times, and my last ride was at night in the very back row. And that ride alone really made this coaster my #1 coaster out of the almost 400 that I've been on so far. It really is that great. From the first drop to the barrel roll down drop to the amazing wave turn, and then what I call a very underrated ending to the coaster. And if you're enjoying the video, all I ask is that you give it a like. That's the best way you can help the channel. And I also hope that you become the newest Theme Park Prediction subscriber. It goes without saying that any new theme park that opens needs to be a must-visit park, especially since here in America, this doesn't happen very often. So with that, I hope that you get a chance to head to Iowa and experience the highly anticipated Lost Island theme park when it opens sometime this summer. Kings Island. Not only is this park a world-class park, but they reopened the world's longest wooden roller coaster, the Beast. And not only did they reopen the ride, but they made it so much better. I already have a few friends who have been on it this year, and they absolutely are raving about it. A few of them have even said that you actually get some airtime on the Beast. Now that's kind of crazy talk to me, so I'm gonna have to ride it in August to really see if that's true. But let me know in the comments below if you've been on the Beast so far this year and what you think of the new ride. Not only did the Beast get some much needed love, but the park's racer is painted the old white, red, and blue like it was when it first opened up. And a huge nod goes to not only Kings Island, but to the Gravity Group for making the racer one of the smoothest and best coasters at Kings Island now. Kings Island is celebrating 50 years. That's a great milestone, and the park has a lot of great special events and activities spread out through the whole entire season for your enjoyment. So I cannot recommend visiting Kings Island enough, because this world-class park just got even better. And Cedar Fair might have just messed around and made Kings Island the top overall park in the entire Cedar Fair chain. Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now obviously, if you love coasters, this park is for you, because they have the most in the world, including their new RMC single roller coaster Wonder Woman that's going to open up later this season. While this might be a pretty much clone of the Jersey Devil, this ride is going to provide Magic Mountain with an airtime machine attraction that's going to get a lot of love from the general public. Now, I still don't really understand the whole concept of Great Adventure and Magic Mountain, two of the top 4 parks in the chain as far as attendance goes, adding a single roller coaster, which only holds 12 people per train. So while that is a head scratcher, I must say the coaster looks great, and they really are a great ride. I just feel like they should be at other smaller parks other than the 2 biggest ones. And you cannot forget about riding Tatsu with this new paint scheme. Mix all that in with some great rides and attractions, Magic Mountain looks to be improving each year. And for those of you whose Magic Mountain is your home park, I really am excited for you as well as excited for the park's future. Six Flags Fiesta Texas. Who would have ever thought that Six Flags would add a B&M coaster to one of their parks in 2022? But here we are with a 150-foot tall B&M dive coaster that offers 7 riders per row and the steepest drop on a dive. Overall, Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger really looks phenomenal. And even though, with a name like Cliffhanger, that this coaster's not actually hanging off the rock quarry wall, I really do like the placement that Fiesta Texas is giving this ride. Six Flags, as you know, is going through a transition right now with a new CEO and new management for the most part. And the company's on the heels of opening 2 mega coasters in 2022. So let's impress the new CEO as well as the parks by visiting them, ensuring them that when you build a new coaster, crowds are definitely going to follow. Not only is Fiesta Texas my favorite Six Flags park, they're also home to Iron Rattler as well as Wonder Woman. And now with Cliffhanger, this makes a top 3 that's a must for any coaster enthusiast out there. And if you really don't like Six Flags parks and prefer to visit others, I must say I've been to 2 Six Flags parks this year already, and I had the best experience at both of them that I've ever had before. So all the changes and improvements that Six Flags is doing for the 2022 season is really paying off, because the old Six Flags really doesn't feel like it's there anymore. And that's a great thing for you and I, and most importantly, the parks and the employees of the parks. So which parks have you or will you visit in 2022? Be sure to let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching. Remember to smile today, think positive, and keep riding coasters.